Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video and I'm so excited but a little nervous, so I'm gonna kind of be all over the place. Today we're doing a closure wig install. I don't know where she got this wig from. I think she said it was her sister's hairline that she's trying to start, but I already went ahead and melted the cap and everything, so I'm just basically going on and kind of trying to figure out where I'm going to place the wig on her head and just making sure it's fitting correctly. But I love this wig, honestly, y'all. It was so long, so full, and wait till y'all see the end and see how it flat irons. So right here I'm going in with my Boho Active, the pink bottle. This is all that I use, and I do it in kind of like a dotted motion a little bit, and I'm going to apply 3 layers and then go ahead. So once that last layer has dried clear, I'm going to go ahead and pull the lace down. And when I pull it down, I kind of like to tug on it a little bit and force it down onto her head. Not too hard because you don't want to make your client uncomfortable. But once I complete that part, I'm going to go in with the back part of my comb and just melt it in a little bit more before I go in and blow dry it. And notice as I'm blow drying, I'm using my fingers on my other hand to kind of push down and kind of spread the hair around a little bit more just to make sure that all the lace and the glue is melted together. And before I get too far ahead, I like to go ahead and already part out my part just so I can know kind of what I'm working with and just have that be my blueprint on how I'm going to continue the rest of the install. And right here is my secret recipe, my hot comb. My clients know when I pull out that hot comb, your install is going to be so freaking flat. Like, we're not coming to play with the hot comb on 500 degrees. Not playing at all. So now I'm going to go in with my tiny scissors, and this is the only thing I use to cut my lace. And when I go in and cut my lace, I'm going to do it in sections. So I do one half of the closure and then the other half. And I also do it in a zigzag motion, and that's so important to make sure that you're cutting your lace in a zigzag motion so it won't be as detectable when you see it. So now that the lace is cut off, I'm going to go ahead and define my part a little bit more, just trying to get a clean part before I go in and pluck it and stuff like that. So now I'm going in, I'm going to start pulling out my baby hairs. And with baby hairs, I kind of just do it however I'm feeling and based off the client's head. So today we're going to just be doing the 2 baby hairs on each side of the temple. Now, when I pull out my baby hairs too, also, I pull it out in kind of a zigzag motion. And I got that from Eric and Tay's class that he had online. And it really helps to make it look a little bit more natural. Like, it's not just this sharp, straight line of baby hairs coming out. So I definitely recommend doing that, or at least trying it on one of your installs. And once I got the selected amount of baby hairs that I want to pull out, I'm going to go in with my slick stick and slick the back of the closure, and then go in with my hot comb and hot comb it back, and then hot comb the baby hairs downwards towards their face. Now, when you use the hot comb and you're going downwards towards their face, please be careful. And I always like to say flick it upwards towards you as you're coming down, like so, because if you don't, it'll be really easy for you to burn your client's forehead. And also make sure that you have a really good grip on your hot comb, because the hot combs are hot and people are scared of hot combs. And you never want your client to jump back or anything like that and you accidentally burn their forehead. So once I finish with the hot comb, I'm going to go in with my Ruby Kiss foundation. You can find this at the beauty supply, and also this is the same foundation that I applied to her cap and also her wig before I applied it to her head. I'm going to go into my spritz, and I don't remember the name of the spritz, but everything that I've used in this video will be in the description box below. And I'm going to tie that down with my Doll by Dime edge band, and you can find that on my website, which is linked below in the description. So once I finish that, I like to go in with my hot comb once again, and I just go over it to make sure everything is sleek like I said prior, and just to get the top ready and prepped. I like to hot comb the top part of my lace installs and get all the hairs exactly where they kind of should be before I go in and plug, just so I can really be able to see what I'm doing while I'm plucking. And do y'all see how flat that is? Like, come on now. It don't get no better than that, baby. So like I said earlier, we're going to be flat ironing her hair. I'm using my heat protecting spray, and of course I don't remember the name of it, so it'll be in the description box below. And I'm also going to be using my Baby Bliss flat irons, and I love these flat irons so much when it comes down to styling and stuff like that. And I feel like they get really hot, really hot, really quick. So once I finish flat ironing, I'm going to go ahead and take off the edge band. And at this point, your edges should be kind of melted into place in the position that you want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and comb the back hairs back, and then I'm going to go ahead and comb the baby hairs out just in case they might have a little build-up product on there that makes it hard. And also to cut my baby hairs, I used to use the eyebrow razor, but I now recently just switched over to using my little mini scissors. And to spray the baby hairs in place, I like to use my Ebon bonding spray, and it comes in like a red bottle. You can also find that at your local beauty supply store, and that's also what I'm using to push the baby hairs back into place. And as you see, I'm spraying it onto my edge brush and just molding that back out of my way, and it also gives it a sleek look to it, especially when you go in with, once again, your hot comb. So once I got my foundation down, I'm going to go in with my tweezers and pluck out some of the hairs a little bit, just so the baby hairs won't be too thick. And that's really my biggest pet peeve, when the baby hairs are too thick and it looks like really harsh. So I kind of like my baby hairs to be fluffy and light when I'm doing them. So once I'm all done with the plucking, I'm going to go in with my mini scissors and cut my baby hairs. And usually people don't like to use the scissors to cut because it comes out really straight. But if you hold it at an angle and cut diagonal, it'll be perfect, and it really won't be too different from using the razor blade. So now it's time for the baby hairs. I'm going to go in with my mini flat irons, and I'm going to put it in the description box below where you can find these and all that good stuff. And I'm just going to go ahead and curl it upwards, and just making sure I get a nice good curl out of it. You don't want the curls to be like bent up or not that perfect little fish hook curl, you could say. And I'm going to do that to both sides. And just like I said, making sure I got all the baby hairs and making sure everything is curled. And the hairs that don't make the cut and get curled, I just go in and pluck those out. And you'll see those because it'll be underneath, and you'll see the difference between the straight ones and the curled ones. So as far as products, today I used mousse to lay my baby hairs. And honestly, I typically don't use mousse for the simple fact I kind of feel like if you don't melt your lace the correct way and make sure that it's really secure, your lace will really lift up when you use mousse. But I was confident enough in myself today to use mousse. And also, I believe I ran out of my hairspray, so I actually had to steal this mousse from my friend's booth next to me. But it actually turned out really good, and I loved using the mousse. and it gave me the look that I was going for, like I said earlier about the fluffy baby hairs, because it really doesn't hold it down too much like gorilla snot would or something like that, but it definitely gets the job done and gives you the look that you're going for. So I'm just going to go ahead now and do the other side. And another really good tip for doing baby hairs when you're doing it, regardless if you're using mousse, gorilla snot, or hairspray, is to really try to make sure that you're working it in a C motion. And I hope that I'm saying it correctly or explaining it correctly, but if not, you can kind of notice with what I'm doing as I'm applying the mousse to her baby hairs. I'm just lightly swirling it in a C-type motion, and this just really helps make the process easier. And you want to also, like, when I'm typically using it with hairspray, I like to take my thumb and follow behind the comb and everything I'm doing, just to make sure that it's firm in place, especially with the hairspray. So once you've completed your baby hairs and you're kind of satisfied with the look that you've given, you can go in with your edge band. And once again, today we're using the Doll by Dime edge band, and you can find this on my website. And I'm just going to go ahead, tie it down, make sure everything is smoothed out, and just continue the rest of my install. So after I've let her sit for a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and take off the edge band. And typically when I use mousse or something like that, I kind of got to go in and revise my work and just smooth it back to how it's supposed to be, just because it kind of lay wrong when I have the edge band on. But that's no big deal. You can just go in, fix it, easy peasy, and keep it pushing. Now, it wouldn't be Dime if I did not mess up this video some way, somehow. So this is the last clip of me actually working. I believe my phone died. So this is the end result. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something, and stay tuned for the next video.